Hey there, welcome to Manhood Explained. My name is Camille. Today is 18th of September 2022. Welcome to video number 321. Today I want to talk about one subject that I was asked to talk about. One of my good friends, we just talked a few days ago, and I asked her what can I talk about, and because we talked about this channel, and that she watched one of the videos, and she told me if you could say something about, and I'll paraphrase because she wrote it in Polish. Um, how to develop and how to expand in a relationship when we talk about your career, your spiritual growth, your emotional growth, or physical. When one of the partners is much more ambitious than the other one, how not to compete with each other, but how to support each other. And when I saw this, I said to myself, "This is very interesting because I've heard at least few ways of how to approach the subject, but many times when it's built on this premise that we're supposed to, support each other and talk with each other, yes, but when you look at it from perspective of how I look at the relationships and marriages, from perspective of how I build this channel and what is my angle on the subject, it might show you as a guy, especially because this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk to you as a guy in a relationship. That might kind of show you the subject from a kind of interesting perspective, and it might show you that there's a lot you can make so much easier for both of you in a relationship to help both of you grow. So, as I always say, everything starts with your understanding that men were built for leadership. And again, I'm going to say it again, even though I said it many times, it's not about that women are not capable of leadership. From my perspective, looking at life from looking for happiness kind of approach, in relationship, most of the cases, statistically speaking, guys are much more prone for leadership. This is kind of drives us. It makes us tick to lead and to be good at it. And many times when you look at the happy relationships, I don't know how many of those you know, but if you put your girl in a very, very good environment and happy relationship, she would gladly give you all the responsibility for home, for the car, for the finance, and so on. She would say, I have tons of things to do. I'll take care of the house. You have kids, I'm going to take care of the kids. I have some hobbies. I'll deal with my. I don't want to do things that I'm not interested in. I can, but I want to do things that I like, not that I have to because I have to. So that's why if we are driven by leadership, we want the power, we want the being capable of doing and doing well, especially for the woman that we love. Then just do that. So that's my approach. So you would know. So if you look at this subject from this perspective, there are three things that might kind of completely explain how to deal with this as a leader in your household to make it right. So first of all, be a king who is able to really deal with your kingdom. Be the one who's really capable of doing that right. So your kingdom works like a Swiss clock. Because if you don't, and your day-to-day life looks like you're still struggling with dealing with this, dealing with that, finances, billings, cars not working, we have to do the all day is a struggle for the basic things in your life. Trust me, you just won't have capacity and you won't have resources to deal with hobbies and ideas to do something else. There'll be no time and no space in your relationship to deal with those things. So that's why I think this is one of the things that she asked me, how to not to compete with each other. This is what you're going to do. You're going to compete with each other just because there is no time. You're going to compete for resources because I want to do this, I want to do that, but there's not enough time, not enough resources to deal with things that you want to deal, just because there's not enough. So someone will have to pass on their ideas. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it is your role to grow up, to be mature enough to deal with your kingdom to the point that it's going to work like a Swiss clock. So you'd have enough resources, enough time, enough space, enough energy, enough this space to breathe, that you'll chill, you'll be completely comfortable in how your household, in your kingdom, so to have enough abundance to, out of this abundance, give her time, give her your attention, give her the resources that she probably need to buy the things or courses, whatever it requires. You need to have this abundance, and this abundance is going to be based only if you're capable king of dealing with your kingdom as it's supposed to be dealt with. Second thing, she or both of you, you have to have enough relationship in between, this friendship that is built in a relationship, this trust, that you can even come up with this stuff and share it with each other. And I always say, your trust it's not built just because you wake up one morning and say, since today I'm going to support you in all your endeavors. No. Trust is built on those small little things that if you do it right, it can help you build your relationship. But if you do it wrong, it's going to completely destroy it. That's why so many relationships are falling apart based on something that we don't even know, like 2 weeks after the relationship broke up, because there's so many little things. And those little things may be the things that we agreed upon. Like that I'm going to close the toilet when I finish. And I still don't do it. I said that I'm going to vacuum or I'm going to take out the trash, and I still don't do it. The small things that basically they're like this, this poking the hole. It's like never-ending story. After some time, you're just basically tired of your relationship. So that's why, first of all, be the king who is capable of dealing with your kingdom and being a good leader, a good king in your kingdom. But then be someone who is good king enough to deal with the small things that you said that you're going to do. Be someone trustworthy. Be someone, when you say that you're going to do something, do it. And as a side note, I always say to especially young guys who are starting the marriage or the relationship in their lives, I always say, listen, one of your first thing that you should do, you have to do, but from my perspective, something that it's like the pleasure or something that you're supposed to see as a kind of win for you as a guy, is to build self-worth in your lady. This is something that you and only you can do. Because I don't know if you kind of figured it out already, that our society is basically built on this idea that women are seeing their own value in the eyes of others, especially yours as a husband. So, and one of the other things that we know, that especially if you're in a relationship for quite some time, and your girl is not 20, she looks in the mirror and she knows that she's not the most beautiful girl on the planet. And it's not about lying to yourselves and saying, yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're 40-year-old and you're the prettiest, much more pretty than all those young girls who I can see every day. It's not about lying. But if you are really in love with your girl, if you really like her, you know that there are things that you love completely about her, even though she doesn't see it this way. So that's what I always say it over and over again. How what is the thing that you like her to be dressed in? Like, this is my favorite dress. I love this t-shirt, how it's laying on you, or I love how you do your hair, or I love this part of your body, and I'm completely obsessed about it. And if you do it often enough, she'll kind of understand. Maybe she has a crooked nose or short legs or whatever, and she doesn't like it. But my husband loves my whatever, loves how I do this or how I look in that. And it's going to help her build her own self-esteem based on you constantly saying, I love you in that dress, I love how you look, I love your whatever part of the body you want, and I'm obsessed with it, I love it. And every time she's going to go through my door, I'm going to say, when I see that part of the body, I'm just going to run and say, I love that. And that makes her feel that she's loved, she can trust you, and she knows that every young girl that is gonna look at me, I'm not gonna say, oh, she's much more prettier, I'm gone. No, she'll say, I know that in his head, and he tells me that all the time, that I'm here and there's nothing and no one else for miles. just because I know that he is obsessed with me and he loves me, even though I'm not perfect. And it goes both ways. So that being said, and going back to the subject, right? If you are able to build this kind of trust using building her self-esteem, you'll be able to build a baseline of friendship that will help her to understand that no matter what kind of idea she'll come up with, she'll say the first thing that came to my mind is to go to my husband and talk to him, rather than hide from him and trying to do it, and not tell him that I'm doing it because I'm afraid of what he'll say. That he'll say this is the dumbest idea I ever heard. You see, that is why you've got to build this trust. You've got to build this friendship. You've got to have this trust built in your relationship way before she or you or her will come up with this idea. So first of all, get your stuff under control. Be king who's capable, and deal with your kingdom, so you'll have enough resources, enough time, enough abundance to give yourself space to grow. Second, build trust, so you'll be able to talk with each other and give each other kind of open the doors to each other, to the ideas that may be surprising to you, just to expand, just to have this feeling that we've got space to grow, no matter if that's going to be something I'm going to do for 2 days or maybe for next 7 years. It's all built on trust, based on the small little things that happen every day. And three, something that makes us guys kind of run away many times. We are afraid that if I don't have a PhD on some specific subject, I'm afraid to give her a chance to deal with it because I won't be able to help. And you might be wrong here. Because I look at what happens in my marriage as an example. My wife went towards, or kind of, she's dealing with health and health-related issues. I have no idea how. It's completely not my thing. I'm an IT guy. I just like, what do I know about cells and all those other stuff? But you see, interestingly enough, when she started doing this, she started talking and asking me, and she does it until today. And she says, "What do you think about this?" And now because it works. She's doing this for quite some time. I've learned enough and listened to her enough, so I know what is her approach, what she believes in, or what's her approach to things. And I'll say, yeah, interesting. But or she'll ask me something, and I'll say, looking at it from my perspective as an engineer, as an IT guy, I would say that this works like this, and I would do something like this. That's my idea, having completely no idea what we're talking about. In many times, it happened many times that she'll ask me a question, I'll say, I don't agree. Because yesterday you said, ABC, and now you're telling me XYZ, and it's completely contrary. It's a contradiction. And she said, interesting, I have to think about it. And you see, when you're not afraid of dealing with things that you're not keen in, it builds this trust that even though I don't have to have a PhD in a subject, I want to be a part of her world. And she's doing the same thing. When I start as a leader, she's going to do the same thing as, she's going to treat me exactly as I treat her. So at the end, we are part of our own worlds, even though we are completely out of it, completely being kind of standing kind of aside, or standing, being someone who's not in that particular thing. But we can be in each other's worlds and help each other and talk about it and say what we discovered, just because we've got space and capacity to deal with what we want to do. We've got trust and friendship built on small things. And now we can share those worlds and support each other, not compete, but kind of help each other, support each other, even though we can be completely unaware what other spouse is trying to deal with. So see, this is what I want you to take from this video. You as a guy, you hold the key that will enable or not your woman to spread her wings and kind of expand and develop in the things that she feels and wants to develop. But you'll have to be like a true leader who is mature enough, an adult in how you approach things in life. So you deal with your kingdom, be a really good king who is capable of building this environment, that we've got abundance of time, abundance of resources, and capacity and wants to give each other space to basically develop in expanding in the things that we want to. And that you will work on and kind of consciously build trust in between each other, to build this baseline of friendship, so we would know that we can, that we're not afraid to talk about things and changing, I don't know, directions of our lives. And three, and that you not being afraid of dealing with things that you don't have completely no idea about. Kind of the contrary, you're gonna do this just because you love her and you trust her, and she knows that she loves you and that she can trust you. That you just help each other, just be there for each other, and do as much as you can. So you say, think about it and do something about it, because you are the one, if you're a good leader and good king, to be able to help her spread her wings and see your girl like you never saw her before. Just go for it. If you like this video, like, share, comment. If you didn't, comment as well. Tell me what you think and what is your experience. And if there's anything you want me to talk about, just give me a shout. I'll be glad to talk about it for you. And that being said, see you in the next video.